Okay, Thursday morning in the kingdom, and we talked to Johnny last night. He got the freight delivered, and he's still living in evacuated Grief Rapids. Yes, it's unreal. So the guy is a company man. Yes, the wife and grandkids are doing good. All right. Also, too, they say if you leave Grief Rapids to go out to get a Big Mac or a bottle of booze, you not allowed to return, eh? Because they're still under evacuation notice. But over here, you can see there is no wind. Yes. All right. So that's good for the fires around everywhere. It sounds like it's echoey. I don't know why. I'm standing between the buildings here, and I'm going to document the Screaming Ford. Yes. 10 years after we were on Ice Road Truckers, nobody's done an interview or a photo shoot or anything on the Screaming Ford. Plus, we think it's the only one vehicle left of Ice Road Truckers because they destroyed everything. But that was Hollywood filming. All right, this morning I was up before 6 o'clock because I had to go pee. And also, too, it's daylight here. Yeah, so you go to bed in the daylight, you wake up in the daylight. Yeah, so you get up at 3 for a pee. It's not even dark. You don't need your little night light to get to the bathroom and back, eh? Because it's kind of daylight, eh? Oh, maybe I should have one of those GoPros to film at the night, one of those slow motion cameras, that everybody could see what goes on in the house in the daylight and everything like that. Not! Okay, this morning at 6 a.m., it was actually more like 5:30. Okay, plus 10 Celsius. I can feel the heat on my face here, but feels like plus 9. So that's like almost 3 hours ago, so it's kind of warmed up. Okay, on the yo-yo scale, plus 50, the D6 cats. All right, plus 48 is what it feels like. Over here, we have the 48 sedan delivery. We got to start driving it and get it lubed up. You know, just like a marriage. It's not being used, okay? All right. Also, too, I'm a bad boy. Yeah. That living off-grid in Canada, Facebook page. I couldn't figure it out because I was a social butterfly on there for the last 2 weeks, getting notifications and interacting with the people, and I thought I was doing good. And then they blocked me and banned me. And then on my little notification strip on my Facebook page there, all the notifications from that page is gone. Yeah. So I asked a fellow down in Georgia to go on living off-grid in Canada. And he can go on. So I got barred or banned or blocked because I was telling the truth. And that's what they do not want, okay? So somebody leaving Toronto, Ontario, and moving to Northern Manitoba to live off-grid, thinking they can have a cabin down by the lake, you know, cut down trees and peel them and build a log cabin. Yeah, right. We have toothpick trees up here. So like 1,000 trees later, that'll take a year for you to cut them down and peel them, right? You could probably just use a hatchet, all right? So like, come on, give your head a shake. You're telling these people the truth. And of course, the government doesn't want you living in the bush, right? You can't do that. You can't, all right? You can go to your cabin, stay, and then you have to return back. You can't live there permanently. And propane doesn't work up here. So having a propane hot heated shower. Yeah, right. By the time you buy the propane, and then the first cold day in September, your little propane shower thing freezes and splits and everything. You'll be cooking water on the stove and having a hot bath. That's what the old timers did. You know, we do that when there's a power outage. Like, give your head a shake. So me telling the truth and explaining to people what it's like to live remote, I got barred or blocked or whatever. So I laugh at that. So I tell everybody when I was on the page there or had access when I was a social butterfly that I'm giving you this information for free. You know, enjoy it. Take this information. We've done it for 27 years. We know what it's like to have frozen water lines, sewer lines, no power running the welder. You know, you can't turn the stove on and all that kind of crap. You know, so now I'll put all this information in a book, put it on Amazon, and people will buy this book and think I'm the greatest. And I'll make sure to tell everybody this knowledge was denied to you. Yeah, you were blocked. I was blocked and banned, so I couldn't share this knowledge. So please enjoy this book. it'll probably become a bestseller because it's information that is blocked and banned. Yeah, remember that in the 80s there? Dee Snider went in front of Congress to talk about record labels and, banning the sale of, how would you say, raunchy rock albums. And the guy sat there looking like a heavy metal rocker and stuff, but he turned out he was educated, smart, and could speak fluent English. Yes, and he turned the tables on Congress. Every time I need a good pick-me-up or a good laugh, I watch that video on YouTube of Dee Snider speaking fluently and talking about how Tipper Gore thinks naughty thoughts. Ooh, did she ever blush? And I'm colorblind and I seen that. Oh, that was good times back then. So my book, How to Live Remote, will be a #1 bestseller, eh? Because it's banned information, blocked information. I couldn't share it to the world for free, but you can buy it for $2.99 as an ebook on Amazon. So please enjoy. All right, today we're definitely going to have the Screaming Ford out to call some water because it's getting warm, it's getting dry, and we could have more fires. And the government will want to burn us out, so they're not going to come and put a fire out, even if it was in my backyard. We know that for a fact. So that's what I say. We have to be prepared. You have to look out for #1 because nobody else will, because they'll try and screw you over. All right, I better go. Here comes the boss. There comes Dick. Look at how low he is. Wave. Make him famous.
Thursday morning here in WHO-ville, and I was out checking my plants and watering the garden, and I happened to see this guy along the side of the house. So I moved him from the side of the house to the front where the rest of my plants are here, and he is gonna look like this guy. They were over here in this far corner, growing up along the side. All this dirt came from the kingdom, so not sure where the plants came from.
Okay, there's no wind in the kingdom and no Dick flying over this helicopter, so we'll quickly do a walk around the Screaming Ford. Okay, so we can only do one side at a time because walking and talking and holding a beer at the same time is hard for me. Okay, we're on the passenger side of the Screaming Ford. It's a 1974 Ford 9000, yes. And Ford is known for the round air intake on the hood, okay? All right, so also too down here, these cables on the front are hooked to the axle, so when you're up on the winter road, better known as the ice roads, you're pulling on the front axle to lift the truck up and out of the ice field, not pulling on the bumper or the original tow hooks, which are up here in the top of the bumper. So you're actually pulling straight across, or you're pulling the front end down. Okay, over here, we've done lots of modifications to make this truck for winter roads. We're running 3 air tanks, okay? So there's 3 air tanks here. So your air comes off your air compressor. We inject alcohol, plus we also made a way to drain the water out because water does get past, okay? And that thing there is full of alcohol. It'll fill itself up half full of ice and water, okay? And also too, up here, we have a valve here. I've marked it, and that's where we dump the safety brake or airline antifreeze into the system. It goes right into that air tank. Oops, where's my finger? Right there. Okay, so everything is marked. Everything has drains. And back here is the 3rd tank. Okay, under there. But see, Ford originally had them right here under the cab, one on each side, which was pointless. So that's an upgrade. At one time, we had our 4th fuel tank here. Okay, but that was pointless. It didn't, it was damaged badly on the winter road, so it wasn't worth fixing. So in the future, we hope to put toolboxes and everything here. So we carry lots of tire chains. So we have lots of tire chain hooks and racks or whatever. And also too, we have storage boxes. And there's the 30,000-pound Brenner winch, better known as the Wicked Winch. Okay, a fellow in Australia back in 2005 helped me hook it up. But also too, in Australia, everything is on the other side. So I had to look at his pictures and think the opposite. Just like Steve Jobs with his iPhones or whatever, and the ladies in the bathroom. It's a mirrored image. No idea what this guy's doing here. I don't know if we can see him. I can't see him. But that's his 4th pass circling the airport. I don't know if he's waiting to land or he's trying to Imitate Amelia Earhart. This is unreal. This is not good. You should have landed by now. Okay, we blew up the rear end in 2020 towing that V8 Mac off the winter road. So all we did was weld the spiders or the planetaries in the front rear end so we can drive around the yard. So we have to run the tire chains on because this is a temporary repair. So 3 years later, we know my welds hold. And this is proof in the pudding. There is no dry shaft. I don't know if we can see it in here, but that's the U-joints there. There's no dry shaft joining them. So I don't know how the farmers did it back in the day when they took single axle grain trucks and put the tag axle on the back to haul more capacity. Because dragging this axle around, I'm getting stuck in the yard. So it must have been different on the farm. Okay, and here's the weight box. Okay, it was from the mine. It's made out of 1/2 inch thick. It was a skid for underground or something like that. So back in 2003, we needed some weight, or 2000 I think it was, we needed some weight on this Screaming Ford to go down south, because if we bobtailed it was bouncy, so we threw the weight box on. So it's kind of funny, with the weight box on, with the pulley on the stick at the back here, towing the trailer to go get some water today. This is exactly the way we did it almost 20 years ago or 25 years ago. So history repeats itself. And also too, the weight box gives it enough weight or nice ride. We put the chains on here to cross chain it to the back. So okay, everything is interchangeable. The pulley on a stick works very well for lifting up, and we have the tow A-frame cradle that clips in here. I'll walk forward. I don't know if we can see. I have a bad glare on the camera here. All right, so the A-frame clips into the pins there, and then we can use it as a tow truck. Okay, to make the Screaming Ford a winter road truck, okay, we added more fuel tanks because we only have the factory fuel tanks at 260 liters. See, we write on everything because I'm getting older, okay? So this fuel tank here was a slip tank. Back in the day when I moved to WHO-ville in 1996, I could fill that slip tank, I think at 600 liters or whatever. It's a 100-gallon fuel tank because that's what we were buying back in the day. We could fill that every Friday for $300. Now, I couldn't even afford that to fill that even if I cash in my empty beer cans. All right, so none of the fuel tanks are hooked together except for the factory ones on the truck. Because if you ever rip off a crossover line or a fuel valve or anything or damage a tank, you've kissed all your fuel goodbye. So running the 4 fuel tanks, which we're down to 3, we always hand pump from the back tanks to the front tanks. Okay, so that feeds the engine, all right? So that's the way we did it for safety. You can never trust anything because you puncture a tank, you rip a fuel line off, you lose all your fuel, then you're really screwed. So the Screaming Ford is set up with toolboxes, chain boxes, and everything. And we keep adding and adding more and more. So this works out pretty good. It's a service truck for the north. We've done lots, we've repaired a lots, and saved a lot of people's tushies, okay, up on the winter road. So there's the A-frame that goes on the back of the weight box here to make it the tow truck apparatus, okay? So that gives you an idea. This is on the other side. Now let's open some doors and hoods. Okay, I have no idea why this guy's going back and forth, flying in the same line. If you circle the airport to see how to land, you usually do it around it. This guy's going back and forth if he's cruising Main Street to wave at the ladies. Like, this is very strange. Maybe he's spying on me, or maybe he's looking for dick. Okay, to make a truck a true winter road truck or whatever, the passenger seat goes bye-bye, because all it does is rattle, rattle, bang, bang, and we make shelves, okay? All right, so here's more shelves. The shelves are empty because we've been using this stuff. Always have to keep your air hoses and jacks inside the cab where it's warm because there's moisture content in the hoses and they freeze up, yes. Okay, also too, the Ford is set up that if we're in a bad snowstorm, we can suck air off this air cleaner here. Okay, it's the same air cleaner we use in the portable welders, the Kohler welders. That way we can suck air from inside the cab to the air compressor. So it's sucking dry air, dry warm air, because the last thing we want to do is suck lots of moisture and stuff like that to freeze up the airlines. Okay, we'll walk over here. The air cleaner has been blocked off from sucking air from the outside. Because if you're in a snowstorm and stuff like that, the last thing you want is everything to freeze up. So we actually put some fins or snorkel tubes in here to get it to suck air from under the hood. Yes, we don't drive the truck in the summer, so sucking air under the hood is okay. So everything's been highly changed and stuff like that. Even the front springs have been changed out to the heavier duty leafs and stuff because we kept breaking the other ones, so go bigger is better. Okay, Amelia Earhart has done what, 4 or 5 passes north to south. Now she's flying east to west. This is strange plane. Maybe it's the government spying on me. Okay, it took us a while to figure it out, but Ford used the external regulator in the alternator. So we were buying alternators, they weren't working because the little box on the dash there, the firewall wasn't charging. So we upgraded to a 1-wire alternator system because we run the master switches. So everything has been changed drastically. The wiring has been improved. Same with these hoses down here. Okay, we've cut the hoses on the airlines or the airs so we can pour alcohol in to thaw out the frozen airline because these go back to the tanks or to the braking system. So we learn. So that's the joys of owning a truck since 1994. So you got it figured out by the time you're ready to retire. Okay, over here, the cab. All right, got shadows like you wouldn't believe. Take the Mickey Mouse door panel out. Put a little piece of plywood on here. You got a nice pocket for throwing stuff in. Okay, we're running 2 heaters in the truck because the Ford heater doesn't put out enough. So the second heater is down here on the floor. Okay, there it is there. And we made a coffee cup holder. Okay, we'll do some in-cab film here right shortly. And we got the air seat, which really helps. I don't know if you can say that. And also too, we're running master switches. Oh, the shadows here is unreal. All right, there we go. We're running master switches for keys because the key didn't work a long time ago. And it being a Ford with the 8V71 Detroit, you do not need any electrical power to start because you have your pull on and off over here to shut the fuel off. So you don't need electrical. So you can actually start it without the key or just have a toggle switch. But we put the master switch in to show that it, or if somebody stole it and insurance means nothing, we can say it was keyed. Okay, you know, you're having a good day when air from yesterday is still in the air tanks, and that's the speedometer and the odometer, the tachometer, which you make it scream because it's got to be at 2200, 2300 for power range. And then we change everything out and make our own switch panels because the plastic over the years or the little piece there didn't work out, or the heater controls, because the heater controls is basically on and off high heat. Okay, so that gives you an idea. You have your fan on the dash and then you pull your sun visor down, okay, up here. All right, you pull the sun visor down so the fan blows the air over to the passenger's window to keep it from freezing up. And then Hollywood made me get a CB radio for when we filmed on Ice Road Truckers, which was pointless because the screaming Ford with the 8V71 Detroit, you can't hear anything in here. We wear earplugs all the time, so anytime I was talking on the CB radio, well, we couldn't hear anything, or they couldn't hear me back, so that was just the fun. And also too, this will show you the age of the truck. Of course, we got a glare. There we go. There's no flipper up and down, it's all side shift. All right, so that gives you the age of the truck. Yeah, now Amelia Earhart's going back and forth, east to west. This is strange. Must be some geophysics or electronic survey for the gold mine that's going to open up. Okay, here comes Amelia Earhart coming back. She's moved over a bit, so she's doing a grid survey. Okay, so what most likely they're doing is surveying their property, and then they'll fly over other people's property, their mineral claims, and scan them to see what's in it. So it's kind of interesting how this world works. They screw everyone. It's the insiders that make the most money and stuff like that. But the thing is, they'll never go mining here. This plane can go back and forth like it has since the 1940s, but who cares? They'll never mine here. I don't know if we can see it. Oh, there it is. Hard to see on the little screen. I'll just keep scrolling this way. But it's unreal. It's all stock pump and dump. Oh well.
After lunch here in the kingdom, getting ready to start the screaming Ford and go haul water. It's a hot day here in WHO-ville. don't know if you'll be able to hear me, but I'll try and talk as loud as possible. On the way down to get water, I popped in to check on my wild blueberries. Look what we have going on here. Got these guys over here. Those are all blueberries over there as well. This is going to be a good season. Just one load here from the muskeg. It's not high enough to take another one, so we'll let this fill up from over there and it'll come down into here, and tomorrow or the next day we can come back and get another load. Looks like someone from WHO-ville has been dumping in behind the kingdom here, so I'm going to take advantage of it and use these grass trimmings for my garden. Alrighty, we got the water loaded off. Now it's time to pack things up and go have some fun. There he is, just waving all awkwardly in the corner. After we did our water run, it's time to water my potato plants. With our nice little system here that my dad hooked up, I can just turn the tap, fill up my pails, and water them. Here I have all the grass trimmings I put on top of my potatoes from the WHO-ville dumping. I even put them on my potatoes in my pails over here, and they are actually growing. End of the day here in WHO-ville, covering some of my plants with the grass trimmings I found in the back of the kingdom. I read that if you do this, it will help with your soil from drying out. It will keep your plants nice and nutrients. It'll keep the bugs from going in there and all that fun stuff. So let's see if some of these plants grow better than the others, because I did not cover all of them, just some.
Okay, we're quitting early. We hauled one load of water. We got lots of video. We have other things to do. We're going to be a social butterfly, yes. And no Amelia Earhart. So they probably landed the plane downloading the instruments to see if they're reading. If not, they'll have to fly again. So that's the joys of electronic instruments. They've been doing it since the 1940s, or in fact back when the Wright brothers were first flying. So it doesn't make sense. You waste all this time and energy. You guys will never go mining here. So it's all stock, pump, and dump. And to think I almost drank the Kool-Aid because I was involved with it for a long time. Alright, look at the wind. There's hardly a breeze. Alright, let's go walk the dogs, drink some beer, and make a video. Talk to you later.